All right, hey, recording. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I have all this stuff here. Hey, March 26th. Welcome to the Gravity Weekly live stream. We're the Rogue Traders. Check us out at roguetraders.live. We have a lot to talk about. Well,
There's a lot going on.
we do and we don't.
Yeah, I've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we Bitcoin hasn't moved a ton. It's gone back up into the 70s again. It keeps poking up there, but of course we've got the looming war, and every day everyone's on tenterhooks, just waiting for something to happen. So the market's very cautious and very jittery, and you can say that about the oil market, the stock market, the bond market. Every market on earth right now is just kind of sitting on tenterhooks, waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, put the graph up. I'll speak because people want to look at that rather than.
Oh yeah.
So
Here, let me make this big.
We've been discussing this all week on the Rogue Traders trading pit.
I didn't log into your thing here.
Oh yeah, okay.
We'll have to put the
okay.
We'll put the thing.
Don't worry. So it doesn't matter. So we've been kind of expecting that the market should rally into month end because it's the end of a quarter, and Donald Trump is going to want. When I say the market, I mean the traditional markets as well as the crypto markets.
I didn't have the microphone close to us. I hope everybody could have heard us. Anyways, but now we got. Look, we had some technical difficulties this morning. It's been a rough morning for us.
Yes. So there's been this. So it's quarter end, and so if you're rich and you live in the US, and therefore you're essentially funding the government, you read. I mean, with your taxes and
taxpayers,
donations and whatnot, right? You read your financial statements from your hedge fund investments and your 401ks and so on quarterly. You don't even bother monthly, right? You're so rich, and so it's important that a quarter always ends on an up.
Yes,
and so. Trump will know that, and he will have been talking in conciliatory terms about the end of the war and winning and all the rest of it to give the markets an excuse not to dump. Traders can then they can say, well, I didn't sell the portfolio because Trump said we won. So there's deniability about the inevitability of the crash. And so that way you can keep the stock market high until the end of the month, which is the 31st, which is next Tuesday. And then you end the quarter on a high. Everyone's happy, get paid a bonus. All the voters and the patrons of the government are happy. And you've now got a quarter in which you can wage war and cause the markets to crash, right? Without until people notice,
and bring it up at the end of the next quarter,
right? And then and by that time, you're already embroiled in a war that's going to cause you to print shit tons of money anyway. So the fact that everyone's losing money in their stock portfolios is temporary because everyone knows that you're now going to print money and they're all going to win anyway, right? So that's what we've been expecting the market to do, and we expect the market to dump on Wednesday next week. However, there seems to be this ominous feeling that it's actually going to kick off on the weekend.
With the ground troops and escalate,
and so that and so we've seen a tension in the market. We've seen the high frequency traders trading knowing that the market's about to dump, and whereas the big ticket sort of long only funds haven't been selling off, and there's a tension in the markets there, and we see that in the flows, and I think now we've got to a stage where the market's kind of just jamming up because nobody really wants to move, because no one quite knows how to front run this.
Yes,
I think in the next day or two, someone in the US administration is going to front run the market hugely. We'll see massive put buying or call buying or something, and then we'll know it's on.
We'll get a signal. Get on board with that signgle, so you can ride the trend, and away you go. And you're saying Wednesday next week because that's the new quarter.
Logically, it's Wednesday next week, but but I'm not entirely sure that Trump is actually in full control of his own actions. So it might be the weekend because that. Because I know, for example, Israeli government are very keen to get this moving.
Yeah. Well, they started things without authorization, so what's going to stop them? They don't care as long as they get what they want.
And Israel's being massively degraded by the day, and so they're going to want to solve this.
Yeah.
So that's and I think Bitcoin has has suffered from the same thing. So we've kind of had this sort of slightly optimistic run up. Impact's called there. We had this sort of slightly optimistic sort of drift up until a couple of days ago, and now we're kind of hovering. We don't really know what to do, and I'm pretty sure the next move is a massive leg down as soon as they say they're going to invade Carg Island. I don't actually believe that. I think that would be utterly suicidal on a number of, and it would achieve nothing. I actually think that the more likely thing is a landing, as you said to me earlier, somewhere else in Iran to try and stoke some insurgency or support some kind of insurgency, and essentially create another Vietnam.
Yeah, and we both know that even with a few thousand troops, that's not enough to do too much. So we're not talking about massive, but we're talking about escalating the situation. So whatever happens, we do expect some escalation sometime soon. And you can see this is the Bitcoin chart. Look, hey, I'm looking for I'll be buying as it goes down into the 60s, and we'll just evaluate the situation there. And we're always one moment away from, no, we've got a ceasefire. Oh, no, we made a deal, right? And boom, we'll be at 80 before you know it. So we're going to go to 60 or we're going to 80? I don't know.
So the reason I've not shorted the market horribly is because of that risk of Taco. But actually, the last time Trump said that we'd won, which was 2 days ago, the market didn't actually. We opened up. It was it was yesterday. That's right, because I was actually long the SPY, the S&P ETF, and I didn't want to be. And yesterday we opened up a few dollars, and it allowed me to reposition myself and get out of that long and back into a more neutral position on the S&P. And I was kind of waiting for a taco, which caused the market to rally yesterday, that would make me profit on my long position, but all it did was allow me to get out, and then suddenly now it's already reversed. Right? The S&P is going to open down today, so I picked the right moment to get out. And that the point is that Trump saying we've won, the markets are now discounting it.
Yeah.
Right. So now it doesn't matter what he says.
They need proof. They need proof. Yeah.
Which means that there is zero incentive for anyone to buy any market right now.
Yeah. This here looks like the European markets today. Just kind of drifting down. It's not crashing, but it's just going down. People they're selling lightly. No one's willing to stick their neck out. They're going to wait for the U.S. to open. I can't remember if there's any financial data today or Fed speakers, but it doesn't matter. We're really waiting on this news about some type of invasion. And nobody wants to stick their neck out right now. So
and then the question is, should we buy after the invasion? And the bond market says no. There was a failed bond auction yesterday. Another failed bond auction. Bonds are saying that interest rates in the US should be above 5%. That means long-term interest rates going up to 7%. That means people unable to afford homes. And that means everyone across Europe unable to afford homes again. So there is no reason to buy nothing right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick look at gold here. And I did have the gold chart up just a moment ago, but I put it up again. This is the PAX G. I can go to the other gold if I want to take I can take a look at any of these really. Here, let me just go to my favorites list here. I guess I can use. You can quickly click these things too, but
that's XAU. Not
this is the proper gold, but there's not enough data there because they haven't been offering it long enough. So PAX G, different company. They've been Gravity's had this since December. So we've got data going back to December. You can see we're along right here. It was looking great for a while there, but of course now it's in our backside a little bit. I think we just got to be patient on it.
We just got to be patient. Yeah, gold. So my position is that the Gulf states have been selling gold because they're out of cash, because they have no more oil revenue coming in, and cash is king, right? They've had all these deals lined up over the years. They've expected 10 billion a day to come in from selling, and suddenly it's nothing, right?
Gone. Yeah.
They've got a whole bunch of liabilities they've got to service, and now all their countries are being destroyed, so they've got to fix that too. So they're desperate for cash. So they'll be selling gold, which will have provided pressure in the market for selling gold. And it might even be that Iran Iran mine shit tons of gold. Tons. Yeah. And so they've probably been selling it to fund their defense, right? So, but Russia have just announced that as of May, they are banning gold exports.
Okay.
And France have just repatriated all their gold from the US finally. Took them 50 years, but they finally got it back. Long story short,
It's not easy to do.
no one's going to sell gold unless they have to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
key point is unless they have to.
Yeah. And we all know that Fort Knox gold is probably a myth, you know.
For sure, yeah. And now Argentina doesn't have any gold because Millet gave it all away. And
Well, even London, there's gold scams.
Right.
You know, like, so who knows how much gold reserves a lot of these countries actually have.
and in fact, I see that there's riots in Millet's becoming much less popular. A whole other story.
Argentina, yeah.
So my position on gold, and my firmly held position that I'm proving with my own money, because actually something like 90% of my wealth is held in gold right now. That's not a house and stuff, right? Is that we may well see $4,000, and if I had spare cash at $4,000, I would be backing up the truck, because I am more certain. I'm more certain that gold will get to $7,000 this year than I am that I'll wake up tomorrow.
There's a movie about this. It's called Gold Member.
yeah. That's me.
Classic, yeah. Classic.
Yeah. I'm absolutely mega bullish gold.
You love it. Well, I mean, I can look at silver charts and different charts, but there's not a lot of data. This one's not bad.
Yeah, silver's going to be more speculative, but probably still a buy because it's going to go with gold, right? But
so we just got data going back to February, mid-February since Gravity added that contract. Yeah, interesting stuff. Hey, why don't we take a look at the liquidation heat map, see what's going on? I refreshed this morning.
It's rare that I rant so much, isn't it? I got really excited by this war.
Yeah,
the glorious defense of Iran. I pass my support.
Yeah, well, a lot of people. This is very polarizing. This position, you know, Trump is polarizing. Whether you love him or hate him, or maybe you're agnostic. That's okay. He can be polarizing. We've got Israel involved. They're becoming more and more visible to the average person, understanding their influence in American politics. You've got, you know, the whole Iranian side of and all the Gulf states being involved. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not simple. And
just the fact that your average Ayatollah has 2 PhDs, has served in the war. These guys are intelligent, respectful people. And I think when I grew up, it was always in the news that they were the mad mullahs. That was the news headline in the Sun or the Daily Mail. The mad mullahs have done this. The mad mullahs have done that. These guys are actually super intelligent and educated people. They still have the yoke of another culture thrown on them, and they need to break that so they can get back to their Persian roots. But I disagree. I disagree on that. I think these guys are moral. I think
but they're not free to practice. They're not Persians anymore. They've been.
If you want to practice Zoroastrianism in Iran, you're perfectly free to.
Let's not get into it. I don't believe the propaganda.
Okay.
All right. So this is the 24-hour liquidation chart. It's pretty light. Actually, 24 hours is not bad up here in the 70s. A little tiny bit down below. Let's take a look at the 3-day. I don't know if
we've just had that liquidity taken out on below 70k, haven't we? So there was a whole bunch of longs that got wicked out just this morning, and then now the markets are empty. There's no orders.
Yeah, I've got 57 million here sitting at 69 and change. Not a big deal.
That'll go. Yeah.
Again, this up at just 72.5.
That's probably safe. I think. So I've seen in the options market this morning. I was trying to get some deals done. Nobody wanted to cross me. So bid offers were super wide. I was sitting there inside the market, still not getting crossed. Nobody wants to trade.
Yeah, and I think it's the same on all the markets. Very thin, very illiquid right now. Everybody's just waiting for the other shoe. You know where the other shoe to drop expression comes from?
A shoe to drop, no.
Yeah. So you see, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're waiting for like something to happen. In the early 20th centuries, there's a massive building program, I think, especially in the eastern United States, and they were putting up all these housing units for super cheap. And if you lived downstairs, you could hear everything going on upstairs. Okay. So a guy came home from work, took one boot off, waiting for the other shoe to drop so you can finally get back to your life with the noise and calm down.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. trivia there for you. Look, the 2-week is the exact same thing, except there's hardly anything down here. Nobody wants to bet on this. Everybody's kind of expected to come down. And this same little stubborn, little tiny bit hanging around 72. Isn't that interesting? Every chart looks the same on the upside. Let's take a look at 1 month out. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah.
It's just crickets. There's not much going on. Okay, a month, 75,000. Sure, that makes sense because there's a little bit of value out there. If you're selling calls, a little bit of value.
So you know what that kind of, I think this what this tells me is that everyone's kind of been wicked out already, and no one really wants to trade, which probably means that. I mean, there's going to be volatility because markets are thin, but actually there's going to be resilience too. It's not as if there's going to be lots of forced sellers. So we are going to go down for sure, but we may not go down that much because it's not like you've got a bunch of leverage longs who are going to get destroyed, right?
Yeah. And if we look on, this is 3 months out. I mean, it's a lifetime away practically. But we've got a bunch up here. Now, I suspect a lot of this was when this crapped, people were selling calls. So this is probably old. People were selling this 1, 2, 3 months ago. I don't think there's a lot there now. There's probably some there because people who are looking to get any money thought, I'll just sell a 3-month or whatever, just to get a little bit of theta coming in. But I got itchy nose going on. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. All right, that's it. Do you want to take a look at immersive or no? I don't know. If
we can do. I can give you the code.
We've got your code here.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I've got to refresh your screen here. What? Oh, something went wrong.
Just type in app.immersive.com. App. That's it. There we are. And you can click on the remember me, and then 793 855. There we are.
Now that's your secret code to all your banking and everything, right?
Just call all the banks and tell them that number. And good.
My name is Richard. Oh yes, how can I help you, Mr.
Okay,
Richard?
so this is saying that basically we don't. No, the market's not particularly. I mean, okay, so we've got negative sentiment, but we have for the past 6 months.
Yeah,
but it's not strongly negative.
Yeah.
So now at the moment, minus 5% on the 25 delta risk reversal is about normal, and minus 10% is actually fairly unaggressive.
I think last live stream this was about 19 or something. If I remember correctly. So
and we saw it at like 40 minus 40% for a moment.
So nobody's expecting the market to crap its pants.
Well,
but they are slightly negative.
Which is the usual. The standard, whereas a year ago the market was always skewed upwards, we're now always skewed downwards. Yeah.
This is interesting to me right here. So the blue line here is Bitcoin, and these other ones are all the vols.
The money vols
for the different expires. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Look, they're kind of getting crushed. And they're tight. Yeah. So it's not like vols are expanding. People are expecting, oh my gosh, something's going to happen. I don't want to touch it. I'm going to sell. It's actually the opposite. People are almost just like, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I think.
And maybe this is a function of people not trading very much right now.
Because probably the only people trading are people like me who
degens.
I'm selling calls because I'm happy to be short the market. And I don't see any value in buying calls at the moment, but I don't see massive value in buying puts either. And so I think you're just seeing that there's on just generally selling pressure.
It could,
but also if you look at the spike here on around the 22nd, if you point with the mouse, that spike there, you see again 18 months ago. You would see volatility increase with Bitcoin going up because people would expect the rally to keep on going. These days, volatility increases with Bitcoin going down because people expect Bitcoin to crash any minute. And I wonder whether that, because there is that expectation, maybe it won't because people are not selling puts.
And
right?
That's what I was actually thinking here is that, it's going to go down for sure. Well, you know what? Is it really going to go down? Because that's what people are expecting. So whatever you expect, it often does the opposite. Yeah. And another trade idea here is, okay, this is the lowest vol we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we've been this low, well, I guess we touched down here. Yeah. maybe,
Have a look at the 3 month.
uh, maybe just maybe, what we need to do, or an idea might to be, you want to buy low vol and sell high vol. If vol's a bit low, I guess historically it's not crazy. I guess it's lower than it's been a few spikes. You might consider this bottom of range,
Yeah.
thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance this war will escalate or resolve and cause a vol spike, cause a big move in Bitcoin. It moves $1,000 one direction or another. We know it's going to. It's just a matter of time. Whether it does it next week or in 3 months, we don't know.
It's only going to happen on the put side. So if I think if anything, the right trade probably is sell calls by puts, because you're selling the vol on the upside, which isn't going to spike, and you're buying the vol on the downside. That's probably the right trade at the moment.
And for the gravity people, they don't have the ability to trade options on the platform yet. It might just be saying, okay, well, hang on. Let's just consider it a range, as I always kind of say. We're going to consider it's going to trade in a range. But if there's a breakout, we put in trigger orders to get in short. Thinking, okay, if you think that that's going to happen, if you think it's going to be down, that's probably how I'd trade it. I don't know. I don't feel confident enough to go short if it breaks. So let's say it breaks down here.
What if we?
I don't want to go short.
What if we gap up to 74? You short it there?
It depends on the news. I feel like yes. Like I don't feel like we're going back up to 125 this year.
No.
That could be wrong because Bitcoin again. There's all kinds of news.
I can offer you a cast iron guarantee that you're not going to see 125 this year.
You just ruined it for everyone in the world.
No,
by guaranteeing it.
It's a guarantee. You're not going to see 120.
This is not financial advice. Please don't sue us.
No, this is just a statement. I'm just
all right.
predicting the future here.
Okay, good job.
I'm not giving you advice.
Yeah,
do what you want, but
it's like, do you remember the Johnny Carson show where he played he put the fortune teller put the card to his head?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's old. You got to be pretty old to know that show.
Johnny Carson's 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say, short of news, then I would say
yes. I agree.
My feeling would be sell the rallies, buy the dips.
Yeah. I think so. And just kind of a big range, the range of low to mid 60s to mid 70s, because we were up at 76 here.
We did try and push up, but then it failed. And the max pain for the end of tomorrow's expiry is 75k, and you could see that the market was trying to get through it, but it couldn't.
And we do have, on all those time frames, all the resistance is really around 72. It's not heavy, but it's all kind of built in this area right here. Look, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It hit it exactly. And look here, we got through it. It got pushed right back down. Again, they made that big attempt and a ridiculously big move down.
And actually, I can let you in on a small secret. We've got an automated bot that goes long and short the market at Ferro Capital, and for the past 2 days, it's been basically long the market, and you can see it was right. The market has pretty much trended up, and it's now just starting to go gently short. And it's we have high confidence in our bot. It's made us good money.
Good stuff. So I think for me, I do have orders layered in. I don't know why I don't see them now, but you could see when I started when we started this call, you could see I had orders layered in here. I don't know why we're not seeing them. It doesn't matter. Maybe I have to refresh. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to be buying. I'll be buying if it comes down in through even to low 60s. I'll be a buyer and looking for it to move back up. Do a bit of a reversion to the mean.
I'll tell you the range for the year.
Okay.
Because I actually put a trade on this morning, which supports my view. I think the top's going to be 90, and the bottom's going to be 56.
56.90, and that could be any time this year.
Yeah, those are the limits of the range this year.
And yeah, he knows I'm not going to remember this, right? He'd be like in June, I'm like, what'd you say? I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember. It could be at 150 or it'll be at 20.
And those are extremes, right? And the 56 is more likely than the 90 for sure.
And those are big moves.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess as a percentage to go from mid 60s to mid 50s isn't such a big move.
But I saw this morning I sold that as a strangle.
Naked.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, not an iron condor.
No.
Oh boy, he's confident.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so when did you sell that? For the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got plenty of time to adjust it.
Yeah.
If one side starts to get into trouble, plenty of time.
Oh, yeah,
and that's
yeah,
why I'm
yeah.
okay with those naked ones if
Yeah.
you've got yourself
Yeah,
time
yeah.
and space. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But we don't want to get into option lessons here. Anything else you want to add to this? Because I think that's my strategy. Is just we're going to stay range bound.
Yeah.
A $10,000 range, which is a big one, right? So kind of mid to low 60s, and you got to be patient. So let's say you buy it here, it might threaten, it might bounce along the bottom here for 3 bloody weeks. I don't know, right, before it goes back up to 70. Who knows? But I think being patient.
So I think the parallels are going to be between here and the Vietnam War, and I'm not old enough to remember what happened to stock markets in response to news from Vietnam during that quagmire. However, I also think that this time around news is going to be hard to get, because you get very different perspectives on how much damage has been done to US interests in the Middle East right now. If you listen to Iran, they're saying that they pretty much wiped out all the US bases.
Sure.
You listen to the Americans, they say, "Oh, we've lost 6 people because they fell down the toilet or something," right? And obviously,
but that's normal during war.
Yeah. So, but there's no like embedded reporters, and
Sure.
there's censorship in Israel and all the Gulf states.
Yeah.
So
a guy who was threatened with 2 years jail
Right.
in UAE just for filming something.
Right. So you can't get real information. I mean, you get snippets, but you don't get a real sense of
Sure.
the scale of what's going on. But I suspect the scale of destruction is quite high. And but I don't think we're going to get accurate news out of Iran when they invade for a while. But then the economy is going to revert to the market's going to revert to thinking about the economy, and that's going to be do we go into stagflation, and when we go into stagflation, what's the damage, and then how much money are they going to print and when. And on that note, did I read 2 days ago, that US Treasury has assets of $6 trillion and liabilities now of 70 trillion.
70.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not 70. It's 40 trillion. Yes, that's right. 40 trillion. So Trump's managed to increase the national debt by $2 trillion since he's been there. Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of the money, I think I remember, maybe it was a week ago, someone on our call, because we have our live trading we do every day. You can join us at roguetraders.live, shameless plug. Someone said that they'd spent 200 billion so far on this war effort. And I thought that was really cheap. I thought, I would have expected it to be more. And of course, the longer it goes, the more it's going to get. But I was a bit surprised. I wonder if that's a real number or not.
Well, if you discount the money that they're going to have to spend rebuilding bases and aircraft carriers, sure.
Yeah. We haven't lost any yet. So.
Because all they've done so far is just launched interceptor missiles and dropped a few bombs, right?
Yeah.
They haven't actually started destroying stuff.
Yeah. And this is going to be a big boom for the defense industry, because their stockpiles were already depleted across the board for all kinds of stuff because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict and now this. So.
Oh, and we've got 2 minutes left. So also we're thinking about the private credit. The destruction of the private credit market has only just begun, and that's going to be as big as the CDO crash in the mortgage-backed securities in 2008. The big banks have just started putting together collateralized debt obligation contracts to sell to pension funds.
Oh boy!
So they're gearing up to offload the private credit onto pension investors.
Yep.
So the next generation of American investors are going to be impoverished from that. And private credit is essentially the shady way that banks have been lending more money than they should be lending, just like they did in 2008 or up to 2008. I
was going to say it's a 2008 all over again.
But it's even more shady and hidden from. But they're looking for bag holders. So if you get offered collateralized debt obligations for private credit, my personal position will be I avoid them, but the destruction of all of that will eventually result in massive bailouts.
Now, there might end up being an opportunity there. I had a friend who, at the end of the 2008 crisis, banks were basically fire sale, and they're bundling 100 or 1,000 houses together. So he's buying these
Yeah.
bundles of 1,000 houses at a time
Yeah.
for next to nothing, and flipping them, and he made gazillions.
Right.
So there will be an opportunity. You don't want to get caught at the front end of it. You want to take advantage of the back end of it.
Yeah. Don't hold the back.
Just to what you said, when you said it, you weren't sure what the market was doing during the entire Vietnam War quagmire. The markets were pretty crap in the late 60s, in terms of being flat. Like, there was little things going on. It wasn't a lot. But you have to remember, the options weren't publicly traded until 1972.
Yeah, true.
So before that, options contracts were these privately written things. I would agree with you and say, let's do a contract. So it was all exotic. It was all just, hand done. And of course, now derivatives control. It's the tail that wags the dog.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to maybe compare that period of time to now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair. So basically, we have no data on what happens when we start seeing 6,000 body bags come back.
Yeah, or they do a buildup of 250,000 troops or something. Again, I don't know if that's going to happen, and part of me thinks no, but you never know.
I'm telling you,
you never know.
No, the one thing
you think it's going to happen for sure.
The moment you send 1,000 troops in, you're committed. And then it'll be 2,000, and it'll be 4,000, and the whole boiling the frog scenario.
There'll be a draft,
and then so the US have just changed the law to increase the draft age, and to allow you in the army if you smoke dope, or if you've been convicted of smoking dope.
Lots of people do that.
So now they're going to just take all the people out of prison and stick them in the army. Right?
Well, I mean, let's face it. How many people in America have smoked marijuana? I mean, probably most. I mean, you can't.
Exactly. So now
it's not a thing anymore. It's not a stigma like it used to be.
Well, the British Navy have just fired 100 odd sailors.
Hang on, the British have a navy still?
Yeah, a submarine navy. Yeah.
Oh wow,
they carry American nukes.
All 2 or 3 of them.
So they've just fired 100 odd sailors because they were all high on dope.
Oh my God! Really?
And they also, and that's obviously that they were deliberately doing that in order to get fired, in order not to be involved in the war, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. They pulled a Corporal Klinger. If you ever watched the show MASH, the guy dressed up as a woman. I think he's crazy, so you get a Section 8 and get out.
Exactly. So the Americans have seen this and thought, wait a minute, we close that door off.
Yeah.
No, I'm guaranteed there's going to be 500,000 Americans involved in this. It's going to be because these things cannot stop once they start. Because if you've cheerled the war at the beginning as a senator, you've got to carry on. Otherwise, you look like a fool. And you're then going to want your constituency, your state, to have the arms contracts to benefit.
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made from this.
So once it starts, it does not stop. It absolutely does not stop until the country is bled dry. So this is the end of the U.S. economy for the next 10 years, guaranteed.
Interesting. So if you're trading on gravity, of course there's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will be affected in its own ways. Sometimes it's different from regular markets. But they have been adding in the metals, so the metals are going to react to the war in different ways. But look, they've got Palantir.
Oh yeah.
So they have, like I was going to say, well, maybe they got some defense stocks. Well, they have Palantir, and Palantir just signed a deal with the government, or was it with Israel for their
Palantir are a bit
for their Iron Dome?
Yeah, and they're getting embedded in every Western government.
Yeah.
So it's turning the entire West into a dystopia horror show.
It's like the Terminator movie, Skynet, sort of what they're.
But worse. This is more every dystopian sci-fi movie you've ever seen. This is what these guys are doing.
Have you guys seen the CEO of Palantir?
Yeah, he's a crazy bastard. Yeah, he's always high on coke.
It's like he's jumping around. And it's like, well, why can't this guy sit still? It's very strange.
Because he's totally excited about destroying everyone's lives and turning them into slaves.
Yeah.
So Palantir, if you are evil and you believe in evil, then you buy Palantir. Personally, I don't buy Palantir because I will not side with evil.
Okay. What if it goes up to $500 a share and you could have made some money off that?
That's just even more reason to find a way to destroy it.
All right.
It doesn't matter how much money you've made if you're turned into a slave.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. So Richard's advice, don't buy Palantir regardless of what you think the price action is due. But if you do want to have some exposure to the defense industry through Gravity platform, Palantir is the only shot. Now, I should have asked Gravity about their plans to add more assets because I don't know. They're just slowly adding things on. I just start to see, which is cool. So I'm sure it's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we'll talk about that a little bit. But
yeah.
All right, we've wasted enough people's time listening to us ramble on and rage. And
I got quite animated this time, didn't I?
yeah, well, there's a lot to talk about. It's emotional.
This is the final battle, dude. This is good and evil.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm into that apocalyptic end, but it could be. I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is where it could. This is going to be
I don't
world.
think so.
This is, I guarantee you, it's another guarantee. This is a world war.
A world war, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take the other side of that bet just because if we both agree on it, it's going to be boring. So I'm going to say no. It's going to get resolved one way or another, whether it takes 3 weeks or 3 months. I don't think it's going to turn into a full-scale Vietnam, and I don't think it's going to turn into a world war. I understand the potential's there, and I have to take the other side because it's my job.
Sure.
But hey, you are right. People could argue and say, look, you got Russia, China. They don't want their oil supply taken out. Like there's all kinds of competing interests of big players. It's not a bunch of local yokel countries in Africa who nobody cares. They have no geopolitical weight. We're talking about the heaviest weights in the world, potentially, getting screwed by one another, and they're not going to put up with it. China and Russia aren't going to put up with an American hegemony in that area of the world, and especially with Israel involved. So there's potential for big fireworks.
So this morning it was on the news wires that the US have just agreed to divert funding from Ukraine to the Middle East. So that means Ukraine's going to get crushed by Russia.
Unless the Europeans
or liberated, depending on your point of view, right?
Yeah, sure.
And actually, at the beginning of the Ukraine war, I would have said crushed. I would now say liberated. I've changed my view on that, and we had opposite views on this at the beginning.
Yeah. Again, like every war, every conflict is complicated. It's never black and white as the media wants you to think, and it depends on your perspective and where you come from, and everything you've been exposed to.
And also, and China obviously are going to take out Taiwan. Well, not take out; they're going to absorb Taiwan, and it's going to be super easy because there's no fuel coming into Taiwan and no food, and eventually Taiwan will just say, you know what, in return for food and fuel, we'll accept Chinese rule. That's it.
And look, Taiwan is right off the coast. It's right in China's backyard. If the Americans were going to protect, nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
Australia can't do it. UK can't do it. France, nobody can do it. They're going to have to project their power across the ocean while they're supporting a war in Ukraine, while they're building up they just sent like the Marine task group from Okinawa to Iran.
Yeah.
They've got they don't have enough power to project there. So I think everyone knows and is suspected, Taiwan was eventually going to get absorbed. And the Chinese are very, very patient.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about this term getting elected. They've got like a 100-year plan, and that's a real advantage. And I know this is a sensitive issue. I had a lot of friends in Taiwan. I've been to Taiwan a couple of times, and half of them were pro-China because that's their heritage. Half of them were pro-Taiwan.
Right.
They were really split. I was really surprised to hear that. So
everyone's loyalty will change when they're hungry.
Yeah, if the shit hits the fan, everything changes quick. Well, look at Hong Kong. I don't know what's going on in Hong Kong in the last 10 or 15
Hong Kong is China.
years.
I was there last year. Hong Kong is China.
Yeah,
it's not a
just slowly got absorbed and it changed from Hong Kong.
Yeah,
to
and it's natural because
of course
all the capitals in China and it's just logical to be more loyal to the country that's right on your doorstep than one that's 10,000 miles away, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure they all, most of the people there have heritage or Chinese heritage. So again, I think most of the people on Gravity are Asian based.
Yeah.
So you guys probably know a hell of a lot more about this than we do.
Well, I'm sure
this is kind of our perspective over on the other side of the world, right?
Yeah, I think the American empire is shrinking away from the East. So that naturally leaves a vacuum where people either take control of their own countries or they join the hegemonic neighbor that's on their doorstep. And so it's just normal. The world changes back and forth. None of it's good. None of it's evil. It just
is.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for today's broadcast. Went a little bit later than expected. A little bit longer, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let's keep trading that range. Looking to buy low 60s on Bitcoin, high 70s as sort of our target area for shorting it. We've got to be patient.
Yep.
These moves could take a while, but be prepared for sudden, $2,000-$3,000 moves on news and a snapback. If all of a sudden, bam, this comes right back down, I might buy some for a snapback up to 70.
Yeah.
Because we seen that over and over again. These news headlines, or Trump makes a tweet and then he tacos a few hours later or a few days later. So let's just keep this range for now. And I don't think we're going to break this range unless there's a big catalyst.
No.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for this week. Hey, we'll catch you next week.